Hello crafty friends, welcome to today's video. This video is a follow-up from yesterday's video and we're going to try some more ways of adding texture to heat embossing. So after you've watched this video, do go back and check yesterday's video for the original idea. In this video, instead of die cutting from our heat embossing and then adding texture, we're going to embrace the blobbiness of melted heat embossing and press texture into blobs of it. Off camera, I die cut a number of panels of smooth white cardstock using a large stitched rectangle die. So we're going to work straight on our card panel. As you can see, I popped the panel on some baking parchment or greaseproof paper, whatever you call it, wherever you are in the world. And then I created a bit of a mound using a variety of embossing powders. I started with white, added some rose gold and a bit of copper, and then added one of the wow dappled effects in a kind of coral. So we're going for white and warm colours with some metallic. Then I took a paintbrush, a dry paintbrush, and brushed any stray flecks towards the middle so that it would all stay in a clump rather than having lots of little bits around it. And then I used the other end of the paintbrush to swirl the powders around a bit, probably an unnecessary step, but you can do it if you like. I do find that if you gently tap the card front, you can get the powders to kind of organically move around a little bit and avoid little holes and harsh lines forming. Once I was happy with my pile of powder, I flapped over the baking parchment and then used my heat tool to do the Murray & Embossing pouncing technique. I gave it a good heat from above to get the embossing powder to start melting, and you can see when it does because it starts to melt onto the upper sheet and it changes the translucency a bit. And then once I felt things were starting to melt, I did the pouncing. As I said yesterday, you just want to very briefly touch your nozzle to the paper. Don't hold it there, otherwise you'll overheat your heat tool, and obviously don't cover the vents either. Just keep heating it like this until you feel it's all melted. You can, once your powder's mostly melted, flip it over and heat from the bottom as well. You can peel back the baking parchment every once in a while just to check whether or not you're getting everything melted properly. And then when you feel you have, bring in something flat like a press tool. This is a air hockey thing, you know, the thing you use to hit the puck around, and press well. Give it a good squish with it, moving the... I really wish I knew the name of this thing. Anyway, I'm going to call it a press tool. So keep the press tool moving and then come back with your heat tool and give it another press. Heat from the bottom, heat from the top, until you're happy that everything's melted and you've got the kind of blob that you're looking for. And now for adding some extra texture. Once you're happy with your blob, give it a really good heat with a heat tool from the top, melt it, and then take something that's got texture on it. I've got a rubber stamp here, and all I did was press it in and give the embossing powder a chance to cool down and take the shape of the stamp. And I hope you can see how the texture of the stamp is now pressed permanently into the embossing powder. If you're not happy with it, you could always remelt the embossing powder and try again. So that was adding texture with a rubber stamp. I did the same again with a different blob, but I used a silicone stamp this time, or an acrylic stamp, not a photopolymer stamp. I think they probably struggle with the heat on this, but the cheaper silicone stamps work really well. So I've got some lovely hearts pressed into this embossing powder. And for this last technique, I created yet another blob, and I pressed an embossing folder into it. So I opened up the embossing folder, pressed it into the melted blob, and then used my press tool again to add pressure from above. I gave that embossing powder a few moments to cool and set, and then I took the embossing folder away and it gave me a lovely bit of texture there. So that's 3 more ways of adding texture to heat embossing. Now I'm going to make a card for you using the first one, the one we did with the rubber stamp. I decided to go for a bit of a butterfly theme, so I die cut a butterfly out of card, covered it in embossing ink, then added some of the Dappled Effects embossing powder. I think this is the coral one. It's the one I used in the blob itself. I then melted that with my heat tool. I die cut a back for the butterfly out of vellum and used just a little bit of high-tack PVA glue to stick the embossed butterfly onto the vellum butterfly, offsetting them slightly so that they weren't completely lined up, just for a bit of interest. To adhere this to my blob, I used some glue dots. I just felt this would stick best to that glossy embossing powder, and it was instant adhesion rather than having to wait for glue to dry. I gave the butterfly a body using some copper penny Nouveau drops, which I did stick my finger in at one point, as per usual. I should have left this stage to the end. For my sentiment, I added a happy birthday on a stitched rectangle of smooth white card, and I nestled that into the wings of the butterfly. And then to finish off the card, I added some more Nouveau drops. Just dotted them around and about to give a sense of energy and movement and flow. And that was this card done. I do hope you've enjoyed today's video and it's given you some more ideas of things you can use to impress texture into your embossing powder. If it has, do let me know in the comments. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and I'll see you back here very soon for another video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.